Once again, it's another show of shits and giggles. More giggles than shit. Whatever you want to figure out.
I'm just more shit. And just remember, we're here for my therapeutic purposes, not for your entertainment. But if you so happen to be entertained by this, then it's a win-win for everyone. And to anyone we have not yet offended, please be patient. We will get to you shortly. Yes. So who are we offending right now?
Well, before we
Let's get
offend,
to
I want to send a big shout. I'm I'm a week late, but Jamaica's independence, so I'm wearing this in honor of Jamaica's independence last week. So yeah, shout out to Jamaica and the independence.
Congratulations.
I don't think you should be congratulating me. It's my foreparents that you should be congratulating.
Well, I mean, you're sitting there with a big Jamaica shirt on, and you are of Jamaican descent. So I think it extends to you as well,
I'm just
right? And to all Jamaicans out there, you know,
don't mind me.
happy independence, belated, and happy emancipation as well. You know,
Are we
so
dated? You know,
should we need to get into that?
that's always it's always debatable about emancipation. Bob Marley said it best: emancipate your mind. And I think that's probably part of the biggest problem that we have right now is we have this
Mental
belief,
slavery.
but until you mentally get free, you're not free. But anyways, I don't want to digress into something else because I can go on about that for hours.
I mean, there's also the point of equal rights is not the same thing as equal opportunity,
Oh, 100%. We're seeing
right?
that on a daily basis.
Exactly, exactly. So we can dive into that on a different day when we want to get heavy. Um, so the Olympics, I missed most of it. Not gonna lie, when it first started, I was really into it. I was watching the soccer, you know, and then I guess all this controversy behind Canada's team and the soccer and everything, and the drone and the cheating, and it put a damper on things. So, and then there's a lot going on with me work wise, my personal life and whatnot. So you know, I kind of missed out on some stuff. Last weekend was a holiday weekend, so I kind of kept it busy. So I completely forgot about all the events that I normally watch. Like I look forward to the Summer Olympics every 4 years, and the events that I normally watch are like gymnastics, track and field, things like that. I missed all of that, all of it. I didn't even know that the men's 100 meter, even the heats ran until the finals were done, and I got an alert on my phone about how close the finish was.
That was that was a pretty intense finish between Noah Lyles and Thompson. It was a good race. Um, if I have to, all right. So I'll just touch on this. So I'm going to talk about the positives of the Olympics, stuff that I liked about the Olympics. The men's 100 meter was entertaining. It was fun to watch. Um, it wasn't one guy blowing away the competition. It was really good. I mean, from the first place to fifth place was pretty close. It wasn't like this stretch of where we're used to seeing Usain Bolt blow everybody out the water and the race is done and everybody's fighting for silver. No, this was a dogfight right to the end. They had to go down to the millisecond, which I haven't seen too many or I haven't seen that done too often. And yeah, it was a good race overall. Noah Lyles ended up getting the nod. Um, Tight race. I'm not going to comment any further on that. I feel whoever saw the race saw the race. It was a tight race, and hey, congratulations to Noah Lyles on winning the 100 meters. Few other big shout out to Canada's relay team. What they did was great. I'm going to say it was amazing. It's a good run, and it goes to the testament of having a team that runs together on a regular basis.
We're
We
talking about the 4x1,
tried a 4x1, yeah,
the men's 4x1.
the
Yes.
4x1, not the women's.
Shout
The
out
men,
to them.
because
Yeah.
the men 4x1, they've been running together for like the last 5 years, and for people that don't run track, running together makes a huge difference because you know the other guy as he's coming in, you know his speed. So even though you mark the tape, you can know either the guy's coming in faster or slower to take off. As a
Yeah.
track, you can figure it out. And I think the Canadians men 4x1 team, they know each other so well that yeah, they ran up on each other. I think on one of the exchanges, but it was still smooth. It wasn't bad. I think they did really well. A couple of other events. There was the 400 meters, 400-meter hurdles where a woman, Sydney McLaughlin, broke the 400-meter hurdles record, which I think is amazing. I used to be a 400-meter hurdler myself, so I can appreciate the art of running a 400 meters while going over hurdles. People like to say jumping, but it's not jumping. If it's contested on the track, you're running. You don't jump over hurdles, you run through the hurdles or run over hurdles. Anyways, so that's the positives of the track and field. The negatives, I would say, is the you
Mm.
know, security, um, Shelly Ann being locked out of the warm up venue because they didn't come in with the team vehicle. I think it's utter bullshit. I think as long as you have an athlete's pass, you should be allowed into the warm up area. If I want to warm up 5 hours before my race, let me. If I want to show up without my team, let me. What the frig is the harm in me showing up early to warm up?
Yeah.
Paris, you
Yep.
got that. Uh, the other thing I'm going to also touch on is I don't know if anybody saw the men's 200 meters, but after
Yeah, I
Noah,
missed that too.
the whole thing with Noah Lyles, I'm happy you won the 100 meters, but to go out and tell everybody that if they see you on the corner in that 200 meters, they're all going to be depressed because they're going to lose. You better
Yeah.
do not go out there, make bold statements, tell the world you're going to kick everybody's ass and finish third. And then have an asthma attack at the end or whatever attack you want to say you had at the end. Because we damn well know if you had won, that asthma attack would have been non-existent. There would have been no attack. You would not have been laying on the track. You would not have been getting stretched off on a wheelchair. You would have been ringing that bell as they've been doing in Paris whenever you win. Um, I think you know what humbleness. We've talked about this on the show before about being meek and being humble, and I think being meek and being humble goes a long way. As an athlete, Allison, you've seen it firsthand.
Yep.
And you've witnessed what I've done to people in the past when they've decided to be unhumble. I've
Yeah.
turned
People who, yeah.
I'm not saying I'm not saying I'm the best athlete out there. However, I get focused when you start trash talking me. And I'm not the only guy that's like that.
Wait,
There's a
are we talking about easy money?
no easy money. We've done it to easy money. We've also done it to other teams where they started talking trash. Remember
Oh,
2015 Hitman told us that they let's get the F off the field. Let's get these mother effers off the field, and we made them eat shit. We wanted
mm-hmm.
on them. Other team told us again, losers go to the other side. We made them eat shit. So the moral of all these stories are humble. If you're
Yeah,
humble,
be humble.
at you. But when you start jumping and talking, someone's gonna take a run at you. And it has nothing to
Yep.
do with has nothing to do with you as a person or race or creed. It's you talking. Because I
Mm-hmm.
find online everyone saying, "Oh, they're picking on the Americans." No, they're not picking on the Americans. They're picking on Noah Lyles because he ran
Yeah.
his. This
Yep.
has America. If he had shut up and came third, no one would say shit. We'd all be
Yep.
happy for him. We'd say, "Congratulations, good,
Congratulations, you did,
move on." But the fact that you told everybody you're gonna have, you're gonna be depressed when I beat you, and you guys are off running for second place. Come on, man. Of course, people are gonna talk. People are
yeah.
gonna.
Because you didn't perform. You didn't perform. You know, yeah. You didn't execute what you said you were gonna execute. So
Yeah. And that's anything in life. You tell people, make bold statements and you don't fulfill, trust me, especially in a Caribbean background, you're going to hear it.
yeah,
You're going
yeah,
you're going to hear it, right?
yeah.
That's
So
just
yeah,
my
I missed pretty much all of the Olympics, all of it. And I'm disappointed. I'll probably go back and watch some stuff, but yeah. And now I gotta wait 4 years. And most of the people that I like aren't even gonna be there in 4 years. Like you mentioned, Shelly Ann, I love Shelly Ann. So it really sucks that even though I didn't get to see any of the races anyways, it just sucks that, at her age, this is probably her last Olympics.
yeah.
So, I won't be able to see her perform again, But I feel like I don't know. I feel like there was some politics around that situation with her being locked out of the training facility.
100%.
I feel like there's politics.
100% there was some politics going on there. Um, yeah, I don't want to get too deep into it, but I'm not gonna say in terms of the performances at the Olympics, I think they were phenomenal. I'm just there's some underlying background scenes in France that I'm not too happy with, or in Paris that I'm not with. But hey, it is what it is. We're all entitled to our opinion. You know the motto, right?
Yep. You go
Opinion
ahead.
assholes.
I like
Everybody's
asshole.
right. So everybody's got their opinion. I got mine. You got yours. We're
And,
entitled to
and
it.
when and when it comes to France, I'm not surprised. Not really surprised. You
Yeah.
know, not surprised. So yeah. So I wanted to like touch on something because you and I are both people that our friends come to us for, solace, advice, different things because we keep it real, right? And we give you sound advice based on who you are as a person, not, if you ask what I would do, is different from what I would tell you to do because you and I are totally different people, right? So I wanted to touch on friends and their relationships,
Mm.
right? And depending on how close or even loved ones, right? Doesn't necessarily have to be a friend, someone that you have a close relationship with that is in a romantic relationship that may be toxic, right? And you care enough about this person, and it could be male or female, because jump to think that it's the females that are in these toxic relationships, mentally abusive, physically abusive, but I'm noticing more and more, especially in our age group, that men are in these, and even older men are in these toxic relationships as well, right? And people are getting complacent. They're, I don't know what their different reasons are for staying in these relationships. But, as a friend, you try to, especially if it's really bad, you try to like, help them through it. If they want an escape, there's different things that you can counsel them through and things like that. But and you know me, I'm a person that I'm a feeler, right? I'm an empath. So if I care about you and you're in a situation, I'm kind of going through it with you, right? So when you get out of said toxic situation, don't expect me to grieve with you. You get what I'm saying? While
Yeah.
you're sitting there, oh, I'm going through this breakup, and you want to feel sad, you feel, my mind's not programmed like that to feel sad for the ending of a negative or toxic relationship. I more feel relieved. Like when I come out of a toxic relationship, whether it be with a family member or a friend, or when I release the toxicity, I'm celebrating. I feel relieved.
So
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 I can't sit there and have sympathy for you
so
feeling bad about this. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna play not devil's advocate, but I'm gonna play the other side of that coin. Right? Every situation is different, and it depends on how long the relationship. Um, if you come to me like my nephew did when he was younger and said, "But I love her," and they've been dating for 6 months, I'm gonna tell you to get the heck out of my face before I slap you. Right? You haven't built up enough time and enough bullshit for me to even look at you and say, "Okay, grieve." So if you've been together 3 or 4 years, a lot of shit happens in 3 or 4 years, good or bad, right? And although people say their relationships are toxic, they may go through bouts of good times because Lord knows you're not going to sit there. Well, I shouldn't say it, but I'm going to say this. There's going to be times of where you're having your joyous moments, and sometimes see people get comfortable, and you see comfortable is the worst thing you can ever be in your life to a certain degree. So in your career, hold on. In your career, you should never get to a point where you're too comfortable. You should always be striving to move forward. Yeah, you achieve your goals, but once that's done, or once you've achieved your goal, start building, whether it's education, spiritually, there's always something more you can do yourself. You are never finished.
Absolutely.
So you should never fully be 100% comfortable. In your relationships, there's comfort to a certain level, and some people don't like the unknown of having to start over. So people grieve more so for the fact that they're going to have to start over, more so than the relationship in a lot of cases, and that they don't identify that, they just identify the person. So sometimes that's more what it is if you really look at it. 'Cause if you start digging deeper into these people, a lot of times they're more thinking, damn, I got to start over. I'm not going to be with this person, male and female. And I
Yeah.
find that's why people jump into relationships quick, because that whole, well, I need somebody to kind of fill that void, or I don't want to be by myself. Why? Why can't you be by yourself? Why
Right.
can't
That's
you
the thing.
to figure out or heal? So here's what happens. You get these people that are in these shitbag relationships, and you know what a shitbag is. You scoop up all this shit over the years, and it just stinks. Then you carry that with you into a new relationship, right?
Because
Don't
you haven't taken the time
ex your
to,
your ex used to cheat, or they used to do this, and now this person that you meet shows similar traits. Maybe they're not doing it, maybe they're actually busy. Now you're
yeah.
saying they're cheating, or trying to give them attitude. So you're bringing this shit into another relationship. So guess what? Now you're not only screwing up yourself, you're screwing up another person. Because at the same time, you try to balance yourself out by saying, no, we're okay, but it's eating you up inside that, oh my gosh, this person's almost similar to what my ex is. How about you give everybody a fair shake? And a lot of
And the thing is, if you're not able to do that, you shouldn't be stepping into a new relationship.
times,
Right. And that's why I think it's important to have time to heal in between relationships and actually look at your past relationship or relationships, right? Why they didn't work, why you attracted a certain type of person, why you tolerated certain shit, why you reacted certain ways to certain things. You know what I mean? Find out what your triggers are. Get to know yourself better, right? Get to know yourself better so you can figure out what your deal breakers are, what red flags you should be looking for in the beginning so that you can weed out certain things, right? And I get the whole comfort thing. I'm not even talking about, I mean, I get the comfort thing, but some people are just comfortable with unhealthy. You know what
yeah,
I mean? Some people are very comfortable with unhealthy. And that's fine if that's your thing. But again, I am not geared that way. I'm not programmed that way. So again, when you come out of that, and especially when like, man, I'm talking about shit like he busted you in the face last week, right? And now you're broken up, but you're like, and this is not the first time. And there's been cheating and all kinds of shit. You know what I mean? Be happy that you're away from that toxicity because you were unhappy. I'm watching you be unhappy the entire time, right? So you're thinking about good times, good times, good times. That's in the first month of this 4-year relationship. You let it go on for as long as you did because you already felt like you invested. You didn't want to walk away. You don't want to be alone. Even though, after the first month, 2 months, it wasn't, it was already showing signs of toxicity, right? But the sex is good or what have you. You know, I've seen things like people staking out people's house and you're not even in a full-fledged relationship yet. You see that kind of shit. Why are you getting involved with that person? That is not going to end well. You know what I mean? It's not going to end well. So things like that. So these things are in the beginning and all throughout the relationship. It's toxicity. Oh yeah, they might go out here and have a great time. They might go on vacation for a week and have a great time. But for the majority of the time, they're unhappy. Okay, and living in sheer unhappiness. If you feel like you need to stalk somebody, stake out somebody, that kind of shit, that's not normal.
I agree.
That's not normal. And if you even get to that point where you should walk away, because who wants to live? Because you're never going to feel secure in that relationship.
But
Because you're always going to be looking for something.
with that being said, that's a mental thing too as well, right?
I know.
It's like you were saying before. It's a trigger. It's an insecurity thing. The day I sit outside a woman's house is the day I'll punch myself in the nuts, full on, closed fist, and just. There is no woman on this planet that's worth me sitting outside her house after I've whatever. Even if I found out that she's cheating, whatever, I will not sit outside your house and wait for dude to come out. What am I really gonna do at this point? The damage has already been done. She's already taken. She's already getting smashed by somebody else. Why am I out there sitting there just torturing myself? Listen,
Exactly.
put an end to it. Put an end to it.
Yep. Put an end to it.
Put an end to
Put an end to it, and then free yourself. Free yourself mentally. Free yourself emotionally. But give yourself time. Don't slide up underneath somebody else. You know what I mean? Or into somebody else right after you, like, just because. Right? It's never a good thing. I know it's difficult for some people, but you need to take that time. You really, especially those people that it's difficult for, you probably need to take that time even more so than the rest of us.
backlash, but I really don't give a shit. I find a lot of women in your age group, and I'm going to say this very, very, very
In my age group, like, we ain't in the same age group.
in your age group. I find sometimes, so actually, I won't say your age group. I'll say just in general. I find a lot of women nowadays, from what I've seen, sometimes they have a hard time being by themselves for some odd reason. I don't understand what it is. In the
They
sense,
fucking coddled men.
in the sense of it's like it's okay. You know what? Because they have friends, and the friends may be telling them, you need a man, or especially if all their friends are in relationships. Now they're the outsider. They don't have anything to bring to the table in a conversation. Who cares?
Yeah, but
Cares?
just because I'm not in a relationship doesn't mean I don't have anything to bring to the table in a conversation about relationships. Because I'm the smart one. One.
I've seen it. I've seen a lot of women like that where you're sitting there, you're going, "Are you serious?" And
Yeah,
women that
but see, I look at things differently, right? As a single woman, I look at things differently in the sense that, like, okay, yeah, a lot of my friends may be in relationships. Most of my friends are in relationships, right? But I don't think any of them are really happy per se. Like, I know they could be happier. Some of them are really freaking miserable in their relationships. You know what I mean? And like I said, they'll come out of the relationship and they'll convince themselves that they're even more miserable because they don't want to be alone. They don't want to be without this person. They have this ideal of what this person was in the beginning. And again, most of the time, it only lasts like a month or two, right? And then they don't want to see that, the person's changing. No, they're not changing. They're unraveling. The bullshit that they were pretending to do is going away now because that's not who they are. You know what I mean? Because if that's who they are, it doesn't change. If that's who they are, it doesn't change. A person might have a bad day, you know what I mean? And their attitude might be different, but how they treat you, right, doesn't change from the beginning. Even like after if somebody is really into you, if they really, somebody falls for you or whatever, they're going to treat you the same way throughout, right? That's just what it is. That's the reality of it. Some people will lose interest. They'll treat you differently, right? But at the end of the day, if somebody shows you who they are, believe them. Believe them,
100%.
right? All too often we ignore these red flags, right? Again, men and women ignore these red flags. I don't understand people in these volatile relationships. Somebody throws a brick in the side of my door. There's no way I'm going my car door. I'm not going back to this person. We're done.
And I go back to this again. When I hear people say
We're done.
they stay with people for sex, I'm like, you're
Yeah,
retarded.
man.
If you're offended, I think you're a freaking retard. So you would let somebody swindle you out of money, blow off your family, shit on your kids mentally, and you, and all for the sake of good pumps or good dick. This is okay. Look at the
Yeah,
scale.
it doesn't make sense.
You start to balance everything out. You start looking at yourself and start going, yeah, this is dumb. It's really dumb, and it's it doesn't make sense to me. But to that person, maybe it makes sense, right? Maybe they've had a lot of bad encounters with with individuals or whatever the circumstances.
But a lot of them have. A lot of them have. That's the thing. It's an ongoing cycle, right? I've seen girls in the same types of relationships. You see them in 3, 4 different relationships, and they're all physically abusive. You know what I mean? Or they're all like controlling. You know, I, and you're not happy with that. You don't like it, but I can't. I
But you,
don't care how good I don't care how good the dick is. For me, it's more of a mental thing. You turn me on mentally before you turn me on physically, right?
you
And
you'll attract what your energy puts out. So women and men equally go out there and say, I don't know why I keep attracting these people. That's the energy you're putting out there. And
that's true too.
you have to look you have to take a long, hard look in the mirror and say, what is it that I truly want?
Yep.
And there's that old,
That's yes.
you can't go to the circus and expect not to hang out with clowns, right? So you go into these places and telling
That's a good
yourself,
one.
great one, I'm gonna find somebody nice, but you're at the freaking circus. So what the frick did you think you're gonna get? And it's the same.
Exactly.
They know each other. That guy's done this girl's done this, and y'all kind of know each other intertwined. And then you're like, you know what? You know what the definition of insanity is? Trying the same
Do
thing over
the
and
same
over,
thing with
expecting.
expecting a different result.
So at
Yep.
some point, you gotta leave those circles.
Yep.
You gotta
Exactly.
or change who you are, and not change. Figure out who you are as a person.
Figure out who you are as a person and
Yes.
what you are really looking for. And it's okay to be like, I think honestly, like I people tell me that I in relationships now, I've got one foot out the door. Got one foot out the door, always like ready to like block delete. And I'm not really a block delete person, but I have gone on a little blocking spree lately just because, people have been annoying me and pissing me off and shit like that. But anyways, that's a different story for another day. Um, I just I fell in love with solitude. I took the time to heal and I fell in love with solitude. And now I'm not tolerating anything that's unhealthy at all, period, point blank. So that's why it might seem that way, but it is what it is. I don't want negative energy around me. I don't want toxicity around me in any of my relationships, whether it be in the workplace, whether it be, with friends or watering hole or whatever, right? Romantic relation, dating. I did say watering hole. I did.
You're like an old friggin' soul. Like nobody uses that term anymore. Watering
So
hole.
listen, people make fun of the terms that I use, like when I say over yonder and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Uh,
But it is what it is. It's who I am.
no,
You know this.
I just brought it. I haven't heard. I think the last time I heard somebody say watering hole was in the Flintstones. You know what I mean? This
Wow.
is-
Thanks.
no, it's
Thanks.
okay. Probably were a Flintstone kid, anyways. You're old enough.
But no, like getting back to my point, like I just the acceptance of the toxicity is not for me, right? I've been really strict about the energy around me and that kind of stuff. So again, I've I've grown to appreciate solitude and being able to control the energy around me. Like I don't have company. Like I don't even know if I've had company since you came over for the Super Bowl. You know what I
No,
mean?
I forgot. It's a while
That was
ago.
like 6 months ago. That was like 6 months ago, you
Uh,
know?
yeah.
So and I know sometimes it gets to a point where I wonder to myself, is this unhealthy? Like, because I would be very fine being a hermit, you know? I'd be fine with that. As long as I have like beautiful surroundings, I'm good. I love a palm tree,
You like that to an
but
extent. Everybody needs I don't want
somebody,
opposite sex interaction, but at some point, we all kind of have that. We're not built to be by ourselves permanently. However, we should never put ourselves in a situation where it's better off being by yourself. You understand what I'm trying to get at?
yes.
We're not made to be by ourselves, but you
But
shouldn't
I
put
but I feel but Clay, I feel like almost I mean for me, I feel like almost every situation makes me feel like I'm better off by myself.
that's a you
But,
problem.
but that's but again, that's because like I'm really strict about the energy and like as soon as it's like I get annoyed, no, I don't want to be annoyed. I want to be happy.
But I will tell you this, your tolerance level for certain people is a lot lower because we argue or we get into our arguments. And sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I just want to slap you up because You keep going on, and I'm like, look, just, but it never gets to that level where,
I'm
where
like a dog with a bone, though.
it's more of a disagreement and we move on. But anybody that knows me knows that is my spirit. Like, I'm cool, 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 cool. Then if we have a disagreement, we'll have a disagreement, but we talk. We can
Yeah,
actually, it's not,
yeah.
kick off the bridge and
Oh,
everything's over and it's done, right?
exactly, exactly. We're not grudge holders and stuff like that. Now, there's certain things that are deal breakers, right? If you break my trust, you break my loyalty, I'm looking at you sideways. There's the INFJ door slam. We're really good at it. Like, I can pretend like you're invisible. You know what I
Yep.
mean? You're invisible to me. Like, I don't see you. You could be standing right next to me, right in front of me. I don't see you. I don't hear you. You know what I mean? You do not exist to me. And I'm very good at that. Very, very good at that. There's a couple people on the list you can ask. But yeah, like, no, people need to be more comfortable being alone, even if it's for a short period, because the more time you waste with the wrong person, the right person could be out there. They could approach, you know what I mean? You could have met them already and you don't even know because you're wasting your time with this person. So,
The more time you waste with one person, it's that much more time to heal from that person.
yes,
Look at it from that.
absolutely.
Look at it from that side.
Absolutely.
So the longer you're in this, it's like having an illness, and you decide not to get the medicine that you need. So the longer you stay in it, the more damage it's gonna do to you at the end of the
Yes.
day,
Yep. Yep.
right? It might not be you're not looking at it from a physical, but emotionally, from an emotional, maybe even a spiritual standpoint, you're more damaged. So when
Yeah.
you want to see that next person that comes along, you won't be ready because you're
Mhm.
so fucking effed up, damaged that you're gonna be sitting there going, "Wow, I don't. Do I go left or right? I don't trust this.
Yep.
Do I trust my feelings? Do I know what to do? Do I know is this the right thing for me to do?" And you won't know what to do because emotionally you're gonna be in a place where you still need to heal. It's gonna take you that
Yeah.
much longer.
Yeah. Yep. And to heal a wound, you need to stop touching it, right? Sometimes you need a clean break. Sometimes in the situation or the relationship or whatever, it might just take a break. You might just need a break from each other for a while to see, you know, to look at things more clearly. And it's possible that you can come back together and fix things, but if the situation is volatile and toxic and like there's a lot of psycho bullshit going on, nah, man. First of all, if it gets to a point where I care more about you getting out of the situation than you do, I'm gonna take a step back, right? Because again, like I'm an empath, I get emotionally invested, so I have to take myself out of it because I got to protect my mental health. So when you get out of that situation, when that situation is finally done, no matter how it ends, if they break up with you, you break up with them, whatever, I'm happy, right?
And
I'm not gonna sit there and cry with you over your broken heart when your face was broken 5 weeks ago. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not doing that.
I'll say
I don't have
this:
sympathy for that.
once you start putting hands on each other, it's a done deal.
It's
I
a
don't
done deal.
make a pat that you won't.
No, man, even like damaging each other's property, man, like that's some psycho shit. Following each other, that's some recording devices, tracking devices. Like, come on, man, we're not, you guys don't, I work in investigations and I don't do that shit, right? I'm not trying to do that shit. That's not how I want to live in my personal life. I enjoy investigating shit, but I also enjoy getting paid to investigation. You get what I'm saying? I'm not trying to do that I'm not trying to drive myself crazy in a relationship thinking, oh, you know what? I think he's gonna be over here. Da, da, da. If I get to that point, I'm leaving. I'm leaving before I ever start doing that shit. Right? I'm not making myself crazy over nobody and asking people to keep tabs on them. Like the shit that I have seen, and like you're right, like the women in my age group.
I wasn't saying it to be mean. I'm just saying just
I
from a,
know, well, because you're in my age group, so you see it.
yeah,
You have female friends.
just from an observation standpoint. And you know what it is too? At this stage in life, you've picked up so much baggage. You have to learn either to either drop it or you're gonna keep continue carrying with you. And I find, the hardest thing for people to do is drop baggage.
Yep.
It sounds
And like you
easier.
said, you got to go into everything and give everybody a clean slate. Everybody, you start everything with a clean slate because that baggage, it snowballs. It gets heavier and heavier and heavier. right? And you come out looking like the damn psycho because you're bringing things from your last relationship. You're accusing new guy of all this shit that he doesn't even know where the shit's coming from. But because you haven't healed from your last situation, everything that he's doing looks suspicious to you, and he's a totally different person.
I'll even tell you
You know what I mean?
I'll even tell you from my standpoint. I think the best thing I ever did was just be straightforward with everybody. Tell them what it is. And
Keep it real.
this is who I am, and this is what it is. And they're like, wow, you're so raw. I'm like, it's not about me being raw. This is me every day.
Every
Right?
day. Yep.
You need to understand this is me. So then they'll see me and they're like, wow, this is you. They see heard me at work. This is you. There's no faking. It's consistent all across the board. Everybody gets
Exactly.
man with respect. Don't get me wrong. It's not disrespect, but all across the board, it's the same. It's the same thing everywhere. There's no, hey, I'm like this at work. Hey, I'm like this in my home life. No, no, no. It's all across the board. Consistency breeds better relationships as well too, because then people trust you, right?
Yep.
Then people trust you, and then it's not that big of an issue,
Well,
right?
that's how you build integrity. You know what I mean? Integrity. Just be who you are. Be true to yourself. Right? It's I find it so much easier. It comes naturally, right? Don't fake the funk. Be true to who you are. People, you're not going to be for everybody. You know what I mean? You are not going to be for everybody, but you want to know that the people around you can deal with who you are on the real, like who you really are, because otherwise the whole situation's fake. You're fake. Their reaction to you is fake because they don't even know who you really are, because the person they're presenting is, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's so much easier. There's nothing to add to it. There's no thought to add to you, just being yourself. And I don't understand why people are insecurity, I guess.
Well, insecurity,
Insecurity.
society, keeping up with the Joneses. Um, Listen, rule number one: I don't care what the other person's doing. Whether you're a millionaire or you live on the street, I could care less. My motto is treat everybody the same. Everybody gets respected the same. But you do what you need to do for yourself. What works for me might not work for you.
Yep, exactly.
So
And
I
you know what? One of the biggest, one of the easiest ways, I find one of the easiest ways to deal with life is to just not give a fuck. The less you give a fuck, the less problems you're gonna have, right?
100%.
Because when you don't give a fuck what other people think, what other people say, because people are gonna think what they want about you. People are gonna say what they want about you, right? What makes the difference is whether or not you give a fuck. Because if you don't give a fuck, it's not gonna affect you. Just be true to who you are, right? But if you care about what other people think, you will always be prisoner to that, right? And you'll never be able to be true to yourself, and you'll never be happy. The pursuit of happiness. The pursuit of happiness. Give less fucks,
Are
and
you,
you'll be a lot happier.
are you spelling that with a Y or with an I? You
Pardon
ever watch
me?
it?
Did I
when
ever watch? Yeah.
when Will takes his kid and the woman spells it with a Y, he goes happiness. It's with an I. And
I know you used to love that movie.
it's all good. It's all good.
But yeah, I think that it's important for us to be true to yourself, man. Be true to yourselves. Everybody, we need to be true to ourselves. Work on that. Work on getting to know yourself better. Because if once you get to know yourself better, you can identify what your triggers are, things that trigger you to be happy, things that trigger you to be annoyed. And it's easier to navigate different spaces. It's easier to adapt to different things when you know yourself better,
100%.
right? So, and man, stop coming around me with this toxic bullshit. If you guys want to stay in toxic, bring that shit around me. Leave me out of it. Leave me out of it.
Sounds like you firing shots at people.
Not really. It goes across the board. It's for everybody,
But
past, present, and future.
we got a lot of sensitive people out there, so everybody takes everything personal.
Listen. I'm. That has nothing to do with me. That has nothing to do with me. That's why I have that little disclaimer at the beginning, right? I don't give a fuck who's offended. I really don't, right? People want to be sensitive. We're not saying anything to hurt anybody's feelings. We keep it real, right? I don't have time to deal with it. And the world has gotten even more sensitive in the last, I would say, 5 to 10 years, right? You can't say anything. It doesn't even make sense being a comedian at this point because jokes ain't funny anymore because you can't offend people, right? Jokes are funnier when you could offend people, I'm just saying. And it's all in the spirit of laughter, right? Everybody needs to laugh. Laughing is healthy, laughing is important. Just as much as crying is important, but you should try to strive for more laughter than tears, right? But you know what? I'm not sugarcoating anything for anybody over the age of 16. So if you are offended by something, that is a you problem. Because when I tell you something, I'm telling you the truth. If you are offended by the truth, if you're too sensitive for the truth, that's not my problem. My goal, my purpose is to deliver the truth. If you can't handle the truth, you need to work on that. Right? I'm not catering to that shit. I'm not catering to that shit. Right? And if you're that sensitive, stay out of my fucking way. How about that? Stay out of my way.
Yeah, that kind of sounds like shots fired. But anyways, I'm gonna leave it at that.
It's not. That didn't go to anybody in particular. I'm just like keeping it real.
All right.
Keeping it real.
All right.
You know how we do.
Understood.
But yeah. There's no shots to fire. I'm happy. I feel good.
Fire happy place. That's usually the best shots.
Pow, pow, pow. Yeah, I know. I'm good. I'm good. I'm feeling relaxed. I'm chill. I'm good. I've, blocked everybody that's bothering me right now. So I feel at peace. I'm sure I'll unblock them. But I had to block one of my parents. I had to block one of my parents. Okay, can you tell me what your definition of elder abuse is?
Well, first look at the word abuse, right? You take the root cause of, you take the root word in abuse. I don't have the dictionary or textbook wording of abuse,
So
but
should I look
treat,
at?
isn't it to be treated unfairly, mentally or physically, or to, I don't know. I don't have the textbook dictionary because I've never
Hold on.
stopped.
Let me see what elder abuse is.
No, look at the word
The
abuse.
abuse of older people, also known as elder abuse, is a single or repeated act or a lack of appropriate action occurring within any relationship where there is an expectation of trust, which causes harm or distress to an older person. Well, if by that definition, anything causes her distress. But anyways, I was accused of elder abuse by my mother because she said she was going to Costco and I asked her to pick up some toilet paper and paper towels for me. And because I expected her to carry said toilet paper and paper towels, I was accused of elder abuse.
I just hope you're not like that when you get older.
So I blocked her.
I can't believe you blocked her. Why?
Because she accused me of elder abuse. I'm not putting myself in a position to be accused of abuse. So if you can't talk to me, right? You can't accuse me of anything. We're not gonna have contact for now until you learn to behave. You're grounded.
Don't think that's a little bit extreme, buddy?
No, I'm protecting my mental health.
You can protect your mental health without blocking her. She doesn't call you all the time, anyways. Who cares?
She'll call again.
She's
The other
not like
one's not talking to her.
the other parent that will randomly call you at 2 o'clock in the morning. He does that all the time. But your mom, yeah.
Oh, he ain't calling me. He ain't calling me. He ain't calling me. He's another one too sensitive for the truth. Don't like the truth, right? So he definitely ain't calling me. That's it.
You don't need to block her. Is all I'm ultimately saying.
All right, I'll unblock her.
You don't do that. You don't need to block her. She doesn't call often enough for you, or I know how she operates to a certain degree, and she ain't gonna call you on a regular basis. You ain't gotta block. You ain't gotta
That's
block.
true.
All I'm saying, you don't have to block her. That's only
But
more
no.
that
Listen,
if you
I was on one. I tried to do a mass block on all my contacts the other day.
and she realizes her number is blocked, she's gonna even more say that you're abusing her, elder abuse. When she needs help, you're not there for her. Just unblock the
She-
damn.
Listen, she's already trying to say that. She's been saying that. She is building a case for this elder abuse nonsense,
It's okay.
right?
Talk her, let her talk her stuff, but just I wouldn't do all that. That's all.
Telling people I haven't visited her in 5 years and all kinds of nonsense, you know. And we all know that's not true. So I can't listen. I don't care what your title is. I'm not dealing with the nonsense. I'm just not in a place where I want to deal with the nonsense,
Understood.
right? And it's just I try, Lord knows, I try to foster healthy relationships, right? I've tried everything I could to foster healthy relationships. These people don't want healthy relationships. They don't want healthy relationships.
No, you're right.
They want, they want what they want when they want it. That's basically what it is.
I'm gonna touch on another thing. And I can't speak for other parents, but I can speak for West Indian parents. And they're a different breed. The majority, I won't say all, because there's some really.
There's some really good ones. Yeah.
So I don't want to label all of them, but I
Yeah.
find.
The rest of the parents on that side of the family are actually pretty good.
So I'll say this: there's this entitlement that even when you're an adult, they feel the need to either talk or to you like you're 5 years old all the time. Even when you're a big individual and they need your help, they still want to talk to you like you're 5 years old. I have a problem with that.
Yeah.
So then they'll turn around and say, you're being disrespectful. I'm not being disrespectful from in my own damn house. And you're trying to belittle me in my own house. So there's a level of respect that needs to go both ways. So
Absolutely.
and you start telling me off in front of my family, I'm not going to be quiet. I'm sorry. You don't get that opportunity. If me and
Yeah.
you are by ourselves, if my parents and I are by ourselves and it's just mano a mano, I'll let them talk whatever shit they want. I don't give a. But the minute you want to try to do it in front of my daughter or significant other, we're going to have a problem because I'm not going to let you demasculate me in front of whoever I'm in front of. Are you mad? I don't care who
Yeah.
you mother or father, you're going to get blazed. I'm sorry. You cannot do that. So I'll give you a warning shot. I'll say, hey, look, this is not the time and the place. If you want to continue going, whatever happens after that, I'm going to have to put you in your place. Because at the end of the day, I'm a man. So I can't allow you to do that.
Yeah.
Cannot. Because just like when they were younger, you think anybody can go into their house when they were younger and blaze? Are you freaking crazy?
Yep.
You talking about
Exactly.
yeah, these people would blaze anybody. So it's like I don't understand where the entitlement of certain parents feeling like, hey, I can go and talk to my son or daughter however I feel. And
However I feel, and that's the thing. Like, and they, like you said, they weren't taking bullshit, right? You raised me not to take bullshit from anyone, no matter what. But then you want to come around me with bullshit and expect me to just take that. No, it doesn't work like that. To an extent, yes, you'll get a little more of a guy than, the average person, right? Because you're my parent and there's a certain level of respect there. But however, like you said, especially in public, don't be trying it. Don't be trying it because you're only going to serve to embarrass yourself. Don't try to embarrass me. You will embarrass your damn self, right? And another thing, regardless of how you feel about your kids, don't be on road talking shit about them. It's not acceptable. And it doesn't make them look bad, it makes you look bad, right? Because
well,
when you're sitting there
okay,
talking shit about your kid to people in the general population, right? We're not even talking about family and close friends. We're talking about gen pop here, right? And you're talking the business or whatever, making up shit, talking shit because you're beefing with your kid or whatever. You know what I mean? Yes, you wanna be beefing with me for no reason, right? And then be talking shit about me. Now you already know that I'm a person that don't take shit, but you keep pushing and you keep poking, you keep poking, you keep poking, right? You know what you're gonna get. So don't act surprised. Don't act like, oh my God, she verbally abused me. You fuck right I did. You fuck right I did, because you're wrong. You're wrong. And you've been peddling the same fucking lie for like 30 years now. And I'm not having it. Right? I'm not having it. So yeah, don't be out there doing that and think that you're gonna get the respect that you normally get. Because I'm not taking any disrespect. I'm just saying.
I get it.
You know,
Totally.
you've seen the whole thing play out, right? We were good, we were tight. All of a sudden, you want to be like, and I can't. Again, it's about protecting my mental health. Protect my. If you don't have my back, you can't expect me to have yours. When you're blatantly showing me that you don't have my back, you cannot expect me to have yours, right? I'm not built that way. I'm not built that way. I can't do it. That goes for anybody. If you're showing me that you don't, if you show me you don't give a fuck, I'll show you I'm better at it.
Oh, in that particular scenario, I can honestly say, if you were kissing this individual's ass whenever they were beckoning and calling, you would probably have less resistance from them because you're kissing their ass. The minute you start living your life and doing your own stuff, now it's a problem. So
Yeah.
if I allow you to take care of a traffic ticket for me the day before it's due and I can't do it, that becomes a problem. I need you today. Hey, but I'm working. That becomes a problem. It's not fair. It's not right. Um, it's actually really unreasonable to ask anybody to help you the day of. And if they can, they can. If they can't, you can't even get upset.
Yeah.
Anything less than 24 hours, you should not be getting upset if somebody tells you no.
Yeah. You always like you wait till the last minute to do something, and then I must move with the same level of urgency for your shit that you're trying to move with now at the last minute when I already had my shit to do. You don't know what I had planned to do for the day. You know what I mean? And at different times when I have been working and I can't answer your call, you're getting mad at me because I couldn't answer your call because I'm working. Right? What do you want me to do? I have to make a living. I have to support myself. I have to keep a roof over my head. I have to keep food in my belly. You know what I mean? So it's really unreasonable. And West Indian parents, another thing that they do, they expect your time to be their time, right? It doesn't matter, you're a grown ass person, you have your time planned. You have your, you work Monday through Friday, you're off on the weekend, you have certain things to do, you have your own errands to run and whatnot. And they expect you to drop everything that you have to do to run their errands, right? Especially when they have a partner to do this with and they're not utilizing that partner, that they
Yeah.
feel like we should be their worker bee. We're their worker bees. That was the reason why they had us. So we could do shit for them, right? And take care of them. Now, if you want me to do shit for you, you gotta treat me properly, right? A person who feels appreciated will always do more than expected, you know? So don't be shitting on me and expect me to be there. I will love you no matter what, because you're my people's, right? But I will love you from a distance to protect my mental health, because it doesn't make me feel good to be running up and down behind somebody, or like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Catering to somebody who is dogging me, especially when we used to be like this. You know what I mean? You switched up on me and you expected my attitude to stay the same. It doesn't work like that. I am not built like that. I'm not built like that when it comes to anybody. So sorry, not sorry. I will never, ever, ever feel bad about protecting my mental health, because I know what it feels like to have a breakdown. I'm not willing to go there again. So it's important that we protect our mental health. And that's exactly why I say stay out of toxic situations. Yeah. So on that note, on the mental health, check in with your loved ones. Someone is going through it, just check in. Just check in. They're not looking for you to fix it. They're just looking for you to love them while they fix themselves. You know what I mean? Just check in. All it takes is that phone call. Sometimes for some people, especially when they're alone, all it takes is for them to know that somebody else cares, right? And it's more than just a text message. You got to pick up the phone and call. It means the world. It makes a difference. So check in on your loved ones.
If there's any old people, not old people, I don't want to use the term old parents. If there's any parents that are up there in age, answer your phone so that people know you're okay. It goes a long way in terms of gauging if there is a serious scenario, especially when you live alone. If you don't answer your phone on a regular basis, nobody will know whether you're okay or not. And sometimes things can be you could be unwell and nobody knows. And at that point, that's the time when no one's gonna know because we're gonna assume
Yep.
that you're just in one of your moods not answering your phone again. Right?
Yes. And they might not find out till it's too late. So answer your phone. Yeah. So till the next time, we stay opinionated over here. Too opinionated. Thank you for joining us for Shits and Giggles. Don't forget to like and subscribe, share, and again, like leave in the comments if there's any topics that you want us to discuss, debate. Put it in the comments. Put it in the comments. We welcome the feedback. You know, good or bad, we welcome the feedback. We might address it in the next episode. We might have to rip a few people. It's okay. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. It's fair game over here. It's fair game. Everybody's fair game. But yeah, don't if you're too sensitive, this ain't the platform for you. This ain't the platform for you.
Even scratched the surface yet. So
Exactly. We just testing the waters. So everybody stay safe, you know, and keep it real.
have fun.
Until the next time.